Hi, this is Jordan with Damn Good Technology, here for the second and final part of Tech and Ethics. This video will be a lot less academic and more biased and opinionated than the part 1 of the video. I still encourage you to give part 1 a look at some point if you haven't already. While it's not vital, it helps in understanding how we got ethics and how it shapes technology. Before we do a part 2, I wanted you to know that you are awesome. If you wanted even more awesomeness in your YouTube feed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Damn Good Tech YouTube channel, where you can get the latest tips and tricks for your tech team to thrive. So, as I already said, I wanted this video to have a more biased and opinionated perspective on tech and ethics in 2026. I also want this video to be evergreen. This will be a bit of a challenge because the ethical landscape changes from week to week. 3 years ago, the major news story was about how artists were concerned over AI stealing their work. While that issue still isn't resolved, people are now more concerned about how powerful AI companies are owning a lot of capital and negatively affecting the job market. I also want this video to be about technology as a whole, not just about the two-letter word everyone is talking about these days, so that hopefully, if or when the AI bubble pops, you'll still be able to watch this video and get something out of it. First off, a little about me so you know where I'm coming from. I was first introduced to programming in high school way back yonder in 2007 when I got an apprenticeship at Open Source Development Labs, which eventually got absorbed into Canonical. This was about the time that open source was really starting to come into its fullness. I witnessed firsthand how open source software had the ability to level the playing field, drive innovation, and allowed companies to do what they wouldn't normally be able to do with proprietary software. The landscape has definitely changed since then. Most notably, the term and meaning of open has been appropriated by groups that are anything but open. So the instant marketing power of the term by true open source companies lost the automatic trust it once had. More than that, the mode of doing business has changed as well. Before, predictive algorithms were smart enough to know with an almost near certainty how many customers would react and how strongly they would react to the move of an organization, business was more unpredictable and diversified. However, the select few that have dominated the market were able to do so because of backroom deals and aggressive algorithm that let them get ahead. After all, if you can mathematically verify how successful you will be in the future, the rest is just clockwork. So now, instead of a diversified competitive market, we now have a few companies that own most of the means of production, whether that's hardware or data. Unless someone is able to solicit the kindness from wealthy angel investors, it's very difficult to start a sustainable business from the ground up anymore. Even more disturbing is the fact that many of these big players started out in academia. They were only able to grow thanks to public support. The only way a small startup is able to grow in the private sector is if one of the highly successful big boys likes the way that the small startup smells. Oh, but wait, big tech companies aren't evil. In fact, they provide lots of tools that you can use to grow your business. You can use Gmail to communicate. You can use ChatGPT to assist with managerial tasks. And LinkedIn is your ticket to rub shoulders with the right people. All you have to do is get locked into their walled garden, where they keep you just unsatisfied enough to want to leave, but closed off enough that escape is impossible. This is the way big tech operates. Designing a product that goes above and beyond meeting customer needs is expensive. But designing a product that is just barely usable is cheap and cost effective. And if the customer is already committed to the platform, it's too expensive and inconvenient for them to switch to something else. Now, this process of locking users or customers into a degrading product has a name. I won't say it in this video, but the connotation is that it's something brown that definitely is not chocolate. Even when an alternative solution exists, it doesn't have the backing or notoriety that the walled garden product has. If it does, it's usually because the company follows the same growth strategy. Hire a bunch of people to make a great product, give a lot of stuff away for free, then degrade the product once people are locked in. Now, this trend has put us at sort of a crossroads. Big tech has essentially cut off the ability for anyone small to grow. The private sector is now behaving like the policies in the public sector. Your choice to do things differently is taken away, and you either have to conform to greed or you'll be eaten alive. Now, pause. So far, this sounds like a negative video. I'm sure a lot of this is stuff you already know. and there are more than enough videos that talk about how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. But I want to change this in a new direction. It's easy to find ways that tech has ruined the lives of people and have stifled innovation. But I want us to instead take a different perspective. Most people remember Jack London from his novels White Fang and Call of the Wild, but you may not know of his latter book, The Road. No, not that, The Road. It's a book I'd highly recommend reading. Since it's in the public domain, you can find it for free on sites like Project Gutenberg or LibriVox. But be warned, the book is pretty dark and depressing, at least up until the end. The novel is a loose autobiographical tale based on London's own life as a hobo, where he was forced to survive by train hopping with other hobos. The novel explores issues facing many hobos at the time, such as criminal justice and individual rights. But just when you think all hope is lost, fortunes change, not just for London, but for others around him. Soon he joins up with a group called Kelly's Army, which is part of a larger group called Cortex's Army. However, this army didn't fight with bayonets or cannons, no. They fought with something more powerful: words and demands. Once you hit the chapter 2000 Skiffs, you can literally feel the burden lift. Things didn't get better, at least initially, but London, along with other hobos, saw that they were just as worthy of a good life, just as much as everyone else, and took the time to declare and seek it. Because the one thing rich, powerful men underestimate is that when a group of people unite under one mission, powerful things can happen. The same crossroads that Jack London faced is the same crossroads we face today. The haves and have-nots, those who control the means of production and those who can never dream of having any capital at all. But are we never able to dream, or are we told not to dream? Because if we can dream, we can design. If we can design, we can implement. And if we can implement, then the whole world can share in what we've designed. A dream is just the start. And if the result is equality, if the end is better than the beginning, no wonder powerful people tell us not to dream. I believe that's the key to this critical time we live in. It's to dream. When all the world tells us to despair, we can rebel. We can dream of a better tomorrow. We can not only declare what we want to avoid, but we can also declare what we want to see happen. How we want the world to look. Do we want economic mobility? Accessible healthcare? Do we want minorities to feel safe in communities? I believe this is how we win the war against the machine. By building, by dreaming, by creating. So let's stand together and build a better future for everyone. Thank you for watching part 2 of an exploration of ethics in tech. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is there something you found interesting in this video? Something you disagreed with? Please write it in the comments below. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree. I read all the comments. If you're not already subscribed, I'd like to encourage you to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you would like to get your organization up to speed in the always changing era of AI, I'd love to help. I have an extensive 15 years of experience in tech, but I don't let the experience make me a bitter old man. I'm a huge advocate for trying new things, and I'd love to help our organization out in reaching the impossible. If that's you, just head on over to damngood.tech and reach out to me there. That's it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Just remember that you are awesome because I care about you and your business.